Hi everybody. Today, yes, we are going to talk about the so-called White House press conference with Zelensky and Trump and JD on Friday. This is not going to be yet another critic of that conference. I'll only say one thing, that I'm disappointed that more newspapers or online sites have not used the word shameful regarding that press conference. It is a word that has been used by the Catholic Pope, who, God bless him, is in hospital at the moment. Before he went into hospital, he used that word for the continuation of the Ukrainian war. And I'm not sure exactly when he used that word. I don't know, it was after another debacle, which was the Munich conference, and before that in Paris. But he used it, and when I first heard it used on Italian television, the Italians, of course, don't use the English word, they use an Italian word, which is vergogna, which, in my view, is a stronger word than shameful. He was using the word in relation to the war, saying the continuation of the war in Ukraine was shameful, in vergogna. That conference was the same. It's got a lot more depth to it than shameful in English. That be what it may, that's different. That's not what this is about. What I would like to talk about today is that everybody's looking for a reason why, and what are the possible spin-offs from this debacle of a press conference. I wouldn't even call it a press conference, it was a free-for-all, and why it took place in that way. I don't really want to go into that. It's been analysed to death by a lot cleverer newspaper and online reporters than anything I can come up with. One thing that seems to be missing is China. I cannot believe that China is happy that apparently, we say apparently, I would say that's what everybody uses, because we still always use this word apparently and maybe. It's all what they call this new expression, or relatively new expression, sanewashing of the crazy things that the current American administration is getting up to. Apparently, this rapprochement, as they call it in diplomatic language, which seemed to be completely lacking from anything that is happening coming out of the White House, apparently this rapprochement between, this approachment, or whatever you call it, from between the USA and Russia is somehow a good thing. And it's been seen in the context of the Ukrainian war. As Vance said, as JD, as Zelensky, for some weird reason, called him by his nickname. I had no idea he was called JD, but I really don't care what he's called as a nickname. But anyway, as he, which started off the whole end of press conference debacle, we need diplomacy. Yeah, right. Okay, we need diplomacy. And somehow Russia is going to be Russia is the key element in this diplomacy. It would appear that this getting together of America and Russia is some sort of I would call it harebrained, I don't know, some sort of plan that the Americans have of aligning themselves with Russia to go against China because of the whole Taiwan and anything to do with China. The whole American administration for many, many years, not including Trump, but Biden and everybody else, have had an obsession with the fact that China is going to take over the whole world, and we're going to be, this is, instead of working with the Chinese to get some sort of coherence in policy to remove murderous dictators like Putin. Or I believe there's a missed opportunity here. The Americans should be quietly working with the Chinese to sort out the Russians, not the other way around. At the same time, the Americans need to be quietly working with the Chinese to try and get some sort of rapprochement with them. They're not going to go away. There's too many of them, and they're too powerful, and they're too clever. Russia is nothing compared to what's happening in Southeast Asia, and China in particular. But if this continual move, of which the accumulation of this shameful White House press conference on Friday is probably the blowing up point of it, of this alliance, if you can't call it any other word, between the Trump administration and Putin, if this is what they're really aiming for, they are going to be surprised. I cannot believe the Chinese are just going to let it happen. Let's see. See you guys.